Hey everyone, welcome back to the B-Movie Bunker. Today we are looking at In the Dead of the Night, brought to us by Robert Love, right here in the great state of Wisconsin. And in honor of it, I wore my cult robes, aka my Snuggie. What we have here is, it was a fun movie. We have the story of Paige Marshall. She is played incredibly well by Morgan Boland. She is an FBI agent who has to protect Elias Carver, played also really well by Jeff Scooble, who is a former hitman. She has to bring him to a safe house, and she's protecting him because he's testifying against his former boss. For a lower budget movie, this had a lot of good stuff going for it. Production quality-wise, it was actually pretty good. I mean, some of the effects are a little campy, but I think they were going for that kind of campy feel with this. That's the vibe I got. It's good, campy fun. The acting for this type of film, I thought was incredibly well done. I mean, as I mentioned, Morgan Boland and Jeff Scooble. You also have Mr. Deeds, who's kind of the creepy little kind of sinister drifter, played by R. Peter Hunt. I think he did really well with that. Kind of, I don't know, kind of had this weird kind of, almost kind of like a Logan kind of vibe to him, but with the way he looked. You know, Logan as in the Wolverine. I don't know if that was intentional, but he just kind of had that vibe, but, you know, be a little more sinister. You also have Nicole Marie Koski playing Janice, I can't remember her character's last name in the movie, but she plays the wife of this former occult guy, and she's a lot of fun in this. I love her character. She's probably my favorite character in this, but I liked everyone overall. Aside from the whole FBI angle, you've got kind of this cult thing going on where this evil cult targets Paige, the FBI agent, for sacrifice because the cult leader wants to bring her husband back from the dead. Just a lot of fun with this one. Like I said, the acting was really good. The story, I don't normally quote other sources, but the Badger Herald called this kind of a Joss Whedon-like romp, and I see that. There's definitely touches of that in this, and kind of the campy, kind of tongue-in-cheek humor, but still, you know, being not entirely serious, but, you know, there's still a story going on. I mean, as cliched as it is, of the whole, you know, occultists want to sacrifice someone and you got to fight against them. I think that the way they handled it really kind of turns things a bit and works well. Basically, bring kind of a little new feel to that whole, you know, kind of, as I said, kind of cliched thing. I think they bring a new look at it that I haven't seen before. And I like that. I think that the overall idea and the way they execute it is pretty original and pretty darn cool and clever and funny. That's the big thing. This movie was funny. It's shorter, which I think works to its advantage. A lot of movies, when they try to go for this kind of campy kind of kind of homage, parody type thing, they tend to make it too long. And this one clocks in at pretty much right about an hour, which I think is the perfect length for this film, and it works well because it's enough to keep you interested and amused without having you all of a sudden go, okay, enough. It's getting repetitive. It doesn't get repetitive like that because they keep the story going, they keep it moving along, and they tie it up nicely at the end. I think. Scale of 1 to 10. Oh boy, this is it's a hard one to describe. It's kind of like someone took some Joss Whedon. They got this big old like movie blender, and they threw some Joss Whedon in there. And then they took some 80s horror and they threw that in there. And they took all that stuff you see on USA Up All Night and they dumped a bunch of that stuff in there too. And then they hit puree, and they poured that out into a mug, and they gave it to you. Like it's a big, horror comedy Bloody Mary thing. And it's got bacon, and it's got fucking olives and the pickled shit, and it's got peanuts and more bacon and a burger on top. And it's a lot of fun. It's For only an hour long, I think they pack a lot of story in there and a lot of fun in there, without, as I said, overdoing it or becoming repetitive on themselves. Yes, parts of the movie are, there's a few groaners here and there. There's a few times when you're shaking your head going, what are they doing? That happens with these movies, and part of that is the intentional fun. It is part of what makes these movies amusing and enjoyable to watch. So I would highly recommend this. Definitely check this one out. It's not just my whole thing of, support independent horror and independent filmmakers and my typical blah, support these poor, struggling artists. Yes, support the independent people, but also support them when they do good work. I mean, this is me saying this is good and worth watching. It's not just simply, hey, give these guys a hand because they're independent, and they're making this stuff on their own, and they're working and stuff like that. This is a good film. Support it. Show the love. That's all I got for this one. Till next time, you all stay safe out there in the wasteland, folks.